Good morning. The plot thickens. So, I just heard a report. There are claims that Prince Andrew and Pedo Maxwell were dating at one point.
Absolutely no sense of responsibility for divisions in our country. Some of the differences of opinion we have in our country are what our founders had in mind.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's KJP. Cheers to you. It's the 18th of January, 2022. Still hard to say. Coming to you with some CoVV news today. So apparently, as of right now, you can get free COVID tests from the government on covidtests.gov. That's this. It's in the beta phase today, and apparently it officially launches tomorrow. They stopped selling Olympics tickets due to COVID. Hong Kong is killing 2,000 small animals because there was a in-pet store COVID outbreak, and the animals got COVID. Canada approved the use of the COVID pill, and Celebrity and Royal Caribbean cruises have been canceled. That's today in COVID.
Please keep wearing your mask, even when you're out walking your dog. Right, guys?
Fuck you, Jill. You're a horrible fucking woman. This is why everybody hates you, Jill. This kind of shit, ineffective, fucking bullshit.
Hi, good morning. It is January 19th, 2022. Today's a big day in national news. President Potato Head is having his first press conference in 80 days. You know, because COVID, unprecedented COVID, made it so he couldn't have a press conference, is what they're saying. However, he can be going here and there and everywhere else, but he can't talk to the press. I have a bunch of other stuff coming to you today, like this Texas synagogue hostage situation. Giselle and Ghislaine, sorry about that, and her fuckery with Prince Andrew, with the John Doe being unsealed, possibly. What's up in California? What's up in New York? This Biden voting bill shit. I'm on a roll, but I gotta work. I'll see you in a minute. Did you know why Biden didn't set up tests being sent to people's houses sooner than now? I mean, there was a budget for it. It was allotted by Congress. Do you know why it hasn't been done until now? Because they used those funds to shuttle immigrants across the United States. There's a lot to go over today, so I gotta get started. Cheers again. Here we are. It is still January 19th, 2022, and the president's got two big things going on today. Well, in reality, he's really gearing up for this press conference, the first one in a while. But let's talk about that later. The 17th of January is Desi Arnaz's birthday, and also Dolly Parton. Happy birthday. One dead in a gas explosion in the Bronx. Parking lot mall shooting. Guys in custody. I forget where that was. More Spears drama. Britney's lawyer sent a cease and desist to Jamie Lynn about Jamie Lynn's book. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the first state to announce you must be fully boosted to get into their state. Yeah, guess. Did you guess yet? All right, so I know I left that other one on a cliffhanger. So let's start out with the first state to announce that you need to be fully boosted in order to visit. Now, it's a huge tourism state. Huge. So the decision is a little fucked up. It is Hawaii. Yes, Hawaii made that brainchild of a decision. Thank your senator, Hawaii. Because that means all your family businesses are going to lose money this tourist season. But they are close in proximity to Australia, so maybe a little bit of that communism is leaking over the ocean a little bit. I mean, that's all I can figure out. Blinken's in Russia trying to get them to stop their attack into Ukraine. Should have been done a hell of a lot sooner than this, in my opinion, but I'm not in the military. Oh, and nothing to see here, but 28 Democrats are retiring from Congress. Hello again. Let's take a look at what's going on in different states around the United States. So in Wisconsin, ballot boxes aren't a thing anymore. Yep, nope, they're illegal. No state legislature actually approved that. Okay, the election board played rule maker, as other people are trying to do, when they're not supposed to. You know how that goes, right? Shit is completely out of control in the Empire State. I am moving. My wife is absolutely out of here, she said, by July 1st. So we'll see what happens there. But, let's see. The Empire State of Crime is what I like to call it these days, the Empire State of Crime. But the reason why I say this right now is because I think she was a 62-year-old Asian woman, got shoved onto the train tracks of the subway by a black man who did it because he's God. It's not just New York City anymore, though. I live in a suburb of Albany, New York, and let me just tell you all the shootings that are going on, and the stabbings, and the violent crime that's happening in this area, and it's such an uptake since in the last year or two. TV incidents are up around here, too. It's ridiculous. Let's talk for a second about this Texas hostage situation, where this guy came to Texas, held 4 Jews hostage in a synagogue because he wanted to get Lady Al-Qaeda out of jail, also in Texas. The rabbi was the hero, and he orchestrated the coverage of it was almost nil. Where the fuck is the FBI and what are you for? The rabbi saved himself. Where the hell were you guys? FBI, hello? Why does the FBI exist? Shouldn't we dismantle the FBI? Let's start from scratch there. Biden, no big deal. Nothing to see here. It's only a violent extremist trying to get another violent extremist out of jail by taking hostages. Nothing to see here, Biden, though. I'm not nearly done, but a Florida man, 2021 trial. He wasn't held responsible for a murder in 2014, allegedly broke into a home, tied, stabbed this woman. The jury found him guilty, and then when the jury was polled, you know how they have to get polled after the verdict is read, a couple jurors polled, no, that was not their answer, and their answer to why is because, well, it was because he's black. They can't convict a black man. And California needed its own video today. There's too much fuckery going on over there for one video. So the useless piece of trash that is running shit over there, or thinking he's running shit over there, he has clouded himself to be the first state to offer universal health care, doubling the taxes for California residents and businesses. And to be honest with you, this sounds like just any low-income Medicaid. So with those of you making over $45,000 only in California, get ready to have your taxes double. Oh, there's also a new trend in California. Instead of robbing high-end stores, they've now moved on to the cargo trains. Everybody's packages are literally on the train tracks in California, LA. Watch this. Look at that. Look at it. So I have a question. Is the rule that you're not going to prosecute $900 per car or per train that they hit? This is a question that we now have to take into consideration because we're in California we're talking about now. Oh, nothing to see here, but in LA, actually Hollywood, the homeless are lining the streets in tents, and people taking walks down the street can't go on the sidewalk. They have to actually walk in the street because of the tents of all the homeless people. Good job, Newsom. Good job. And Newsom's doing such a great job at being governor of California that he needs to take shots at Governor DeSantis and what he's done in Florida. Will you look at the differences between the two states economically? Give me a goddamn break. I mean, I really think he should keep his nose in his own state until he's got it under control, and then he can think about, roasting other governors. Isn't that the way it goes? Clean your own backyard before you try to clean somebody else's. This isn't about Cali, but Israel said they aren't moving forward with the second booster shot. They found it only partially effective, so Israel's not doing it. I think this might be my favorite. A father is not guilty for a pedophile being stabbed 37 times and buried. It got ruled as a run-of-the-mill pedophilia suicide there in Russia. Somebody stabbed themselves 37 times and then buried themselves. I'm fucking Russia, bro. I can't. It's me, KJP, coming at you again on my last break. And then I gotta focus and get shit done at work. But here we are talking about Biden's bill on this voting bullshit, which isn't really a voting bill to begin with. And Schumer's being a little bitch about the filibuster. Now, a filibuster is used for a Senate minority to be able to stop the majority from pushing through bullshit like this. It's been used many, many times in the past by Democrats, and I'd like to remind them of how many times they've used it, a record amount of times in the past, and how much they loved it when 45 was in office. Schumer? Remember? Of course you don't remember. You're too old to remember. So at 6 p.m. today, there's going to be a vote to change Senate rules and get rid of the filibuster, or modify the filibuster. And all of a sudden, this filibuster is suppressing the vote of the younger generation, the black and brown community, low-income community, minorities. And my question is always, how? And when you ask how, you know as well as I do. That's racist! Check your privilege. Blow that bullshit out your ass. Chuck Schumer, do you remember 2017 when you were vehemently against getting rid of the filibuster? Do you remember that, Chuck? Stephen Colbert, he's the big expert. He wants, of course, to get rid of the filibuster because it's anti-democratic, right? All of a sudden. But he wants to get rid of the Senate altogether, and he's not kidding when he said it. So this filibuster that protects the voice of the minority to make sure that they're heard, they want to get rid of. So getting rid of the Senate would make it a one-man show. Whatever the press says goes, right? No big deal, nothing to see here, just let one man be in control of everything. That's smart, Stephen, that's smart. That's why you're a nighttime comedic show host and not in politics. I want to challenge you to stay in your lane, because you're good at comedy. So should I remind him of the old Schoolhouse Rock lesson? I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. You know, checks and balances so that one person isn't in control of everything. And his racist and suppressive bill of voting is not going to fly. It doesn't pass the sniff test, and everybody knows it. And 27 Democrats do not want to get rid of the filibuster, so FJB, baby. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys of all ages. I'm here again, because I got a couple more things to say today. You know, I was thinking, it's really funny how the people that say to follow the science are absolutely refusing to follow the science. And the science that I'm talking about is looking up and reading and understanding the side effects of certain medications. And the concept of natural immunity is following the science, and it just eludes some people. Monoclonal antibodies, antibodies, that eludes some people. You can't get them, but you can get pain pills. You can get pain pills very, very quickly. So there's something to think about. Things that make you go, These are some things that make me go, today. And those same people refuse to actually follow the definition of a vaccine. They actually change the definition of a vaccine to fit what this is. Interesting, right? I mean, it also seems as if we're on the path of changing the definition of voluntary to mandatory. Aren't we? I don't know. I was just thinking. And you know what I read? 48% of Democrats believe in imprisoning you if you question the efficacy of it at all. 48% of Democrats. That's half of all Democrats. So that percentage is either delusional, willfully ignorant, hateful, simply can't read, or a combination of them all. So if we're just talking about two parties, 48% of Democrats is half the nation, roughly less than half the nation. So if you think 48% of Democrats is like 25% of the population, if you really drill it down, about 25-30% of the population believe in imprisoning people for critical thought and free speech. Also imagine calling someone else a Nazi and wanting to put those same people in camps for not doing what you think they should do. Sounds a bit familiar to me. And it appears that those neighbors regretted following along too. Just saying. So my conclusion is that if we just ignored that 25% of the population, what do you think would happen? I think it might just go away. I don't know. Food for thought. What do you think? So, I'm going to read in some news, and I don't like to say I told you so. I don't like, to do those things at all. But what I'm going to say is, wait for it. To all those naysayers saying that, just wait. Because, Maxwell said she'll no longer suppress the unsealing of the John Does in the case. Which means that all the court has to do is unseal the John Does in the case, and they're unsealed. Meaning they can be spoken about, and they can be prosecuted accordingly. So apparently she's got perjury charges against her. And they said they dropped the perjury charges if she didn't ask for a retrial. That one juror. What's up? Has anyone see Cammy's failed attempt to rebrand herself? Like, she bombed that interview. What was that guy's name? Craig Melvin grilled the shit out of her. She skirted around questions. She tried to strong-arm him. He told her to answer the question. She wouldn't answer them multiple times. She didn't seem to be prepared at all, but does that surprise us? Because she wasn't prepared to do anything about the border crisis, right? She was put in charge of that. Did I hear that and I remember that correctly, right? And she wasn't prepared to be vice president, but then again, she was a diversity hire, so how could she be prepared to be vice president? We've seen great progress, she tells Craig Melvin. Facts. We have boosters. We have kids in school. And he takes the L.